There's been a lot of AI news in the last few weeks, and I'd like to sum up what just happened, because it's simpler than it seems, yet also more complicated. I'm talking about OpenAI's operator system and AI agents, DeepSeek's rapidly trained yet inexpensive R1 model, DeepSeek offering R1 as a free open source download, and also sharing the methods by which it was so swiftly and inexpensively trained, a grad student in Berkeley duplicating the core technology of R1 for less than $30, and finally, major AI labs changing their emphasis to achieving artificial superintelligence, ASI, and getting there before China does, which includes running top AI models in-house in the US federal government, which, depending on the AI models and tools used, could lead to a kind of human-AI hybrid superintelligence within months. All of these events have serious implications, but the question is not just what happened, but what to do about it. Let's take it from the top. So OpenAI demonstrated their operator tool, which allows ChatGPT to go on your computer to fill out forms, order your groceries, make reservations, call you an Uber, and so forth. Operator alone is an earthquake, but OpenAI is supposedly planning to release something much more powerful in 2025, AI agents, or rather super agents capable of performing at a PhD level. OpenAI's latest tool, Deep Research, just came out for their Premium Pro users, which is clearly a step towards full AI agents. AI agents are AIs which can do work for you like a remote employee, largely unsupervised. The question, of course, is how many of our jobs could be taken by these agents once they come out, particularly if their price is cheaper and their skill is greater than existing employees, especially experienced ones. This isn't necessarily a given, at least right away. One, there's the question of price versus skill. You don't want to replace a $30,000 a year employee with an agent requiring $1 billion in computational costs to run. You certainly don't if the quality of the work declines. Two, and more crucially, there's an issue with AI large language models, LLMs, called hallucination, their tendency to simply make stuff up and treat it as true. Maybe OpenAI has effectively solved hallucinations in their latest models, or has simply figured out how to reduce the frequency of hallucinations to rare or almost never by, say, increasing computational costs and running each step multiple times to find the one that works. Or maybe, as with the operator tool, OpenAI is just planning for their agents to do a great deal of labor before having a human supervisor check their work, and sign off on it. Again, we're expecting advanced AI agents in 2025, but just remember the early version of Operator is already being tested by their pro-level customers, and free models like OpenAI's O3 Mini are effectively a kind of narrower agent already for things like research, coding, and brainstorming. And of course, Deep Research just came out using a distilled version of OpenAI's O3 reasoning model for even more serious research and brainstorming. And this is all happening while humanoid robots in the background are growing increasingly capable of executing tasks unsupervised in the real world. They're behind the emerging online agents, but not by much. So that's part one in this latest AI drama. Part two was triggered by DeepSeek releasing their R1 model, an AI model which compares well to OpenAI's O1 model, at the time the foremost AI capable of advanced reasoning, and supposedly trained for only a fraction of the cost. DeepSeek is offering R1 as a completely open source, free download, and is also sharing the training methods which reduce the time and computation required to make it. A grad student in Berkeley already duplicated core technology in R1 in a tiny experimental model for under $30, so we're definitely seeing some efficiencies. Some aspects of the R1 model look a little questionable. If you put your intellectual property into the query window of their China-hosted app, that and a lot of your other data will be kept securely on Chinese servers indefinitely, fully accessible to both their government and DeepSeek itself, making it an incredible breakthrough in tools for intellectual property theft if anyone cares to use it that way, which could easily explain the low cost of using that app. Further, R1 may have been trained using API access to OpenAI's models, given how many times users have reported it describing itself as an OpenAI model, and other subtle hints. But since DeepSeek shared their legitimate methods for accelerating model training, and those do in fact greatly reduce training time and costs, this whole event is a dramatic help to leading Western AI labs, not the disaster it's been made out to be. Why? There are two consequences to R1. One, we're going to have a lot of personal, open source, locally hosted, powerful AI models in the hands of normal businesses, even small businesses and individuals. Some on powerful computer setups, but plenty on laptops and even phones. We can reasonably assume these will be powerful compared to R1, O1, and other comparable reasoning models, probably even O3 in time. But chatbots like O1 and R1 were not the end goal for OpenAI and Anthropic, and their CEOs have made that increasingly clear in the last few weeks. They're both talking about building ASI in the next few years, artificial superintelligence better than any human at almost any task. Better than any human, by the way, is the lower bound of their capabilities, not the limit. One vision which comes up often is the idea of an ASI smarter than all humans put together, or as Dario Amodei puts it, a country of geniuses, a country of geniuses in a data center. To be blunt, a computer smarter than the greatest human geniuses at most critical skills could radically accelerate our medical, scientific, and technological progress. The prospect of curing every disease and even aging, of solving every major scientific challenge, of building almost any useful technology even conceivably possible. This promises inventions so advanced as to be almost alien to us in their potential. Which, of course, raises the question of who controls this ultimate technology and what they do with it. Both Sam Altman of OpenAI and Amodei of Anthropic have discussed how critical it is to reach ASI before China does, because whoever takes the lead with a true superintelligence likely takes the lead forever. What's more, OpenAI has introduced ChatGPT Gov, allowing the federal government to run ChatGPT on their own secured servers. Apparently they're starting with GPT 4.0, but you may remember that the government could potentially create an effective superintelligence by taking a reasoning model capable of working longer for better results and pairing it with AI tools from other companies, experts like those at the national labs, and other resources ranging from quantum computers to generative design to 3D printers to evolutionary algorithms. The key is how the answers to complex questions noticeably improve when the model gets more time to think about them and reason internally before offering an answer. Much as you would offer better answers to most questions if given 5 days or 5 weeks to work on them rather than 5 seconds. If that time is extended long enough that it makes sense to discuss problems with leading experts, code a custom neural network like a GAN, set up experiments, or any number of other things, your final output could be that much better still. Imagine OpenAI extending ChatGPT Gov not just to O1 Pro, but to their supposedly far more powerful O3 Pro, or an even more formidable successor model. And while ChatGPT Gov presumably does not yet have the cooperation of the other US AI frontier labs, what are the odds that they will be falling all over themselves to offer their own AI tools to the world's largest customer, if only to stay in the good graces of the government and the administration? So to summarize, what's really going on? 1. Artificial intelligence is advancing incredibly fast, far faster than it appeared to be even a month ago. 2. This pace has implications for everything, whether or not our jobs as they are now even exist in the near future, what happens to the economy and how we provide for ourselves, and whether the average person learns to adapt to AI and to use it to better their lives or simply remain at the mercy of those who do. Whether we end up carrying powerful, versatile AIs around in our pockets as a matter of course. And of course, how soon super powerful, super intelligent AI gets here, and what it does for us or to us when it arrives. 3. Will the US government assemble a hybrid superintelligence out of reasoning models, other advanced tools, and their own experts? Or will someone else do it first? Each of those elements deserves its own discussion. But what people really need right now is to leverage the AIs we have already. The AIs that are powerful, safe, and free. We can use the rudimentary AI agents presently available for research and brainstorming. Not just for ourselves, especially if we're already using them, but as a way of introducing people we know to tools we know also. So rather than give you my answers alone, I'm asking a series of key questions to the most powerful version of O3 publicly available right now, the Deep Research tool, and then posting the answers here in my Substack. If you have general questions you'd like me to ask Deep Research, which you think might be useful to others, please let me know. I'd love to ask a number of other people's questions, though I may embellish them with more details or further related questions if I think it's useful. I'm asking questions like, what jobs are most at risk from AI? Or, what are the best ways for someone in a high to very high risk job to hold on to their job as long as possible? What are the best ways for them to transition to a new job, either under their old employer or a new one? What are the best ways for them to start a new business which can flourish given these AI advancements and other technological and social changes we can expect in the near future? What are the best ways for them to transition into retirement if they are planning to retire in the next 1 to 3 years or the next 3 to 10 years? Other questions include how to adapt an existing small business to AI challenges and opportunities, how to handle cybersecurity versus AI for an individual, business, or government, and how to deal with biosecurity risks like the pandemic. Please remember, anyone can go to chatgpt.com to ask the same questions, or really, better ones. You can sign up for a free account and immediately ask the most powerful free version of O3 Mini. Then it only takes seconds to ask, and instead of asking on behalf of a hypothetical generic stranger, you can ask on your own behalf, or for that of a friend or loved one. No one knows you better than you know yourself. You'll know details like your income, expenses, skills, market niche, preferred career, aspirations, and so on, all of which you can add to your question as desired to receive an even more personalized response. Also, chatgpt.com isn't a static web page. If you have follow-up questions or want to challenge O3's assumptions, do so. If it recommends taking an action and you don't know how to do it, just ask. If you need to tell it more to give it a clearer picture of the situation, you can. I'd ask for links to credible sources because nothing grinds your progress to a halt like getting an action plan which requires you to look up 50 different things. For everyone already familiar with the models, this may seem like the world's simplest step. But really, how many of your own burning questions have you run through the latest model lately? How many of those questions have you followed up on? Perhaps more importantly, how many of your friends and family can use the same tools for even these most basic tasks of research and creativity? Using them takes seconds to accomplish what would take most of us hours merely to produce an inferior product. Need to add your own input? Just do so when the work is done. You only have seconds to wait. Which, of course, is the issue with contending with AI in general. When it's fast, it's really fast. If we want to adapt, we need to start before the biggest changes are already upon us. And many of them are almost here.